conspiracy against the black woman. So part two to my rant about real people have real standards. A lot of when it comes to keeping it real, sisters, you all want the tall, dark, and handsome, but a lot of you all don't have the experiences or don't really, get, the realism that comes with being a very beautiful woman, being a very beautiful black woman, being a very rich black man, being a very rich man in general, being an average, everybody doesn't get the reality of another person. And so the reality, a lot of tall, dark, and handsome men are not eligible. For black women, because a lot of tall, dark, and handsome men realize at a young age they can pimp women. They can get what they want out of women because they look good. Just like a lot of women at a young age know if they look good. Because they notice that when they go out with their girlfriends, they get the male attention first. When they go out with their girlfriends, men treat them differently, When they go out with their girlfriends, women know they look good because when they go out, married men will flirt with them in front of their wives. And women, I'm talking to women now. When good-looking women, when we go out, we know we look good because we see how other women look at us. Fuck what men think. Damn that. A woman, you look good when other women start to hate on you and snare at you and get uncomfortable around you. When other women start to view you as a threat. And when your mama start to treat you a certain way and she get a little too, too protective and too whatever. And, when your mama tries to hold you back as a female from growing up too soon. No, it's not that. It's because you look good. And she knows that you're getting male attention. You look good when your mama starts to worry that when you go out, men are looking at you, not her. That happens when you're drawing sexual attention at a young age. And you draw sexual attention at a young age when you have natural beauty, you see. All right. So women, when you look good. Us women, we know we look good. The average woman cannot go outside the house. Breath stink, no makeup, acne on her face, hair not done, and still get 10 numbers going from the grocery store coming home. That don't happen to the average woman. You see, just like the average man who's broke can't go out and floss his money and get 10 women to willingly go home with him under the pretense that they will have sex with him or do some type of sexual favor with him. Let's damn that. Just get 10 women to go home with him. You see, that don't happen with no average man who can't, But it'll happen with a man who's broke, not two pennies to rub together. If he is tall, dark, and handsome, and has and knows it, and flexes his sexual charisma, and if he's funny. He could be homeless. He could be a drug addict. He could be a criminal. He could be anything. But if he's tall, dark, handsome, and funny, and knows how to flex his sexual charisma, he can get 10 broads to go home with him, just from going to the grocery store, winking at a few ladies, and coming back. If he's tall, dark, and handsome, he can pull the same shit. Sometimes, that a brother who has that money to spend and who has the ability to protect and provide can do. Meaning this, a man is short. He's 5'3". Let's be real now today. A man is 5'3". How many dates is he gonna get from women who are not Mexican? Okay. Now take that same man who's 5'3". All right. Let's say he's average looking or above. Meaning, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's 5'3", but physically and his attractiveness, he's a 7. So he's a 7 or he's a 6, 7, 8, 9, but he's 5'3". All right. He's gonna get more attention. Women are gonna think about it a little more, especially if he now take that brother or take this man, this brother who's 5'3". He's attractive. Now put him in a socially desirable position, meaning he's also the CEO. Or fuck that, he's just a boss. He's a boss. He's somebody's boss. He's the leader. He's the manager. He's the shot caller. He's the one who makes the decisions. He's the head honcho. All of the women who are subordinates are now going to find themselves attracted to him, not because he's 5'3" and he's handsome, no. Because he's a boss. And women are wired biologically to be attracted to the alpha male, meaning the man who is in charge. You see how women... Okay, so now take that same man. He's only 5'3". He's attractive. He's a boss, meaning he's in a socially desirable position. And he's hanging out with a group of guys and a group of ladies. Say a bunch of people go out. Say some coworkers, go out after, I work in the service industry, so let's just keep it real a little bit. Say you all work at let's say you work at a high-end restaurant. And it's a 5-star restaurant at a high-end hotel or something, and this guy's 5'3", but he's the boss, he's the boss of everyone. He's the head honcho. And a group of guys, 5 guys go out, 5 girls go out who are co-workers. The boss is 5'3", but all the other men are 5'10" to 6'2". So the other 4 dudes are 5'10", 5'11", 6'1", 6'2". That's their height. But they're all chefs, busboy, a janitor, and one is a server. All right, that's their position. Five ladies. You got 5 women there. All right, 5 women. A fight breaks out at the bar that you all are at. The only man there who is able to fight and protect the women and keep them safe is the boss, who's 5'3". Average looking. Above average looking even. But he's short. And he's just barely making more than 50,000. He's making 50,000 a year. Say that. Just barely. He's more realistically making 30,000. Say that, all right? Or to 50,000. But in a situation, the women who are already subconsciously, even though they're not coming at him, they're not going for him, they're not hollering at him, but subconsciously they flirt with him more because he's the boss at work. And now 5 women are out who work all these, let's say the 5 women they're all at the same level. They're all servers. And one of them's fucking one of the chefs on the low. The other one may be openly dating another server, and then you got the janitor and the busboy who they're both single, whatever. But a fight breaks out. at the bar that these coworkers are at. And the only dude who knows how to fight is the 5'3" dude. Why? Why is he the only one who knows how to fight? Well, maybe because at a very young age, this dude knew, I'm not getting any taller. So what can I do to keep myself marketable to women? Let me stay in positions of power and leadership. And a lot of men don't go in saying, I want to be the boss. They go in saying, I have to work twice as hard because my life is a little harder because I'm a short man. My life is harder. I'm not marketable in certain ways. I'm not considered average or above. So I'm going to put in more effort. And because I'm not marketable and I'm not tall, from a young age through my adulthood, I've had to fight because people pick on me, because other men want to try me, because I'm an easy target to make themselves look good. So I am used to having to defend myself, and I'm able to defend a woman and protect her because I'm used to having to do it. Whereas all these guys who don't work as hard, so they're janitors, they're chefs, they're this, or that, because they don't have that ambition, because they can still get pussy making minimum wage because they're tall and funny. But a fight breaks out and the head honcho, who's only 5'3", is the only one who knows how to fight. Who do you think all 5 women want to go home with? Well, the chick who's probably dating the server, she may go home with her boyfriend, but her pussy is wet for the short guy who knows how to fight, because that's how a female is programmed. And all the other women who are single, including that woman who's secretly fucking one of the chefs, she, because she's a hoe, will probably still try it with the head honcho, because she says, oh, he's masculine and he's the head honcho, and I fuck to I like to fuck on the low, so let me try my chances with him. But he as a manager knows who's fucking who, so he has a choice of 3 women to go home with, because the tall guys don't know how to fight. And because tall guys can get pussy easy at a young age, they don't have any ambitions or goals. So I want to be realistic, about what I know, just being a woman, about men and how women are attracted to men, and be realistic about dating standards by going back to our biology and going back to, as a woman, being realistic. If men, especially black men, can be realistic about what they're worth, to the point where you have a whole community in Black America of black men who are trying to scam black women into polygamy, because the black man knows, if I don't scam these black women, I'm only either going to be able to pull a white trash chick, or I'm not going to be able to get a woman, because if I don't get a woman who is easily pimped. So brothers know what their worth is. So I want sisters to realize, where do you get off thinking you, as a woman who doesn't even find herself beautiful, deserves any man? Any man. Things Derek Jackson won't say. Or more so, things that people who are nice and kind, aren't going to tell you, but it's still in the Bible. So this is where I want to go about being realistic. I want to end finally with what Kassie West, a white woman who is married, says, and I want you all to look up Kassie West and look up her video. And there's a few other channels who have posted her video, but her name is Kassie West, and you can go straight to her channel. This is a white woman who is average. You know what I'm saying? And natural, obviously, but this is a white woman who is not above a 6 She's not. I would say she's like a 5 or 6. But this is a white woman who is legitimately a 6, and we know that because she's not covered in fake hair and snuffleupagus, eyelashes, and makeup. That's not her proper, color and all this ridiculousness. And she's letting women, but especially she's not addressing black women, but what she's saying is important for black women to hear, because she's coming from a perspective that I'm coming from, being raised around upper middle class white people and having that education, having those standards, knowing my worth, being able to play the violin, do gymnastics, being athletic, not getting obese because I understand the importance of keeping health, being raised holistically where I don't have to go to the doctor because I do know actual holistic remedies. Knowing how to take care of myself, doing my own hair. That different standard of blackness that comes when you're raised around not just racist white people, but raised around white people who have a higher standard that blacks are deprived of a lot of times. And what I'm getting at is when you're a sister raised around, white people where you think like a white girl, you know your worth. You're okay with and thinking like a white girl means not I want my hair to be straight. No, I like my hair the way it is. And I don't want to look like somebody else. I'm okay with how I am. I think I'm beautiful. I think I'm the standard of beauty in my own race. And I'm going to have that confidence to go out and go places. And I'm going to have the intelligence to understand how society actually works. And I'm going to say, I know what I deserve. And I know where men who make a certain amount of money hang out. So I'm going to put myself in that position to be around these men, whether it be taking jobs where I can, because let me tell you something, ladies. I've been overqualified for a lot of things, but when you come from poverty, you don't get the same opportunities. But because my mother didn't name me Shanisha, Shaniqua Quiqua, because my mother didn't name me, after a vehicle or name me something that's obviously black, not African, but black, or foreign. When white people looked at my resume, they thought they were looking at a white girl because I'm able to articulate myself, because of the hobbies that I had, because of the experiences that I had, because of the school I went to, but most importantly, because I didn't change my name to Bay Shabazz Ali, and because my mother didn't name me to Shamishi Kikatika Ikia. You feel me? Sorry, I know it's African heritage, but we're having a different discussion right now. We're talking about black women getting marketable husbands, not how not being bad and bougie and ghetto and shit. But we're talking about reality. So my reality is, I've been able to be in places and get into spaces that, if I was the stereotypical black woman from Chicago, I wouldn't have gotten those opportunities because white people do have standards and filters for what they do, and I had to fight for those things. And a lot of you black women, you've never been in these positions. You don't really know what you're dealing with, and you don't really know what you're up against, dealing with this cracker and dealing with these black men who are castrated by this cracker. You don't really get it. And so what I want you to understand is I've been in spaces where I've met upper class men, rich white men. You know what I'm saying? Where I could have done things, to get money, or, easily could have been married to a white dude who easily could have been married by now to a white man who makes that much or more, because of where I grew up, and because my mom was smart enough to take me out from fucking Cabrini Green and all that crackhead shit that goes down in the hood, in the ghetto, I mean, and say, I have this money because the father of my children was honorably discharged from Vietnam, so I'm getting extra money. So instead of staying in the hood and pawning my children off to Big Mama, to my grandmother, so I can go act like a hoe, I'm going to take my children before I'm old enough to legally drink and move to a suburbs that no other black people are in and raise my children on my own. And I'm going to do it as a Jehovah's Witness. So my mother was one of the first black women from Chicago to understand what a black woman's worth is and say, you know what, I'm better than where I come from, and I'm going to go out where white people are and be the first and be a pioneer of black women knowing their worth. And I'm going to raise a daughter who is a representation of what happens and what you can become and how beautiful you can be when you know your worth. So ladies, you need to listen to Kassie West, because I think she's the end all be all about this topic and black women understanding what you really realistically need to do and the steps you can take, especially being average, to find an eligible man. Listen to a white woman who's not being racist, but she's keeping it real with all women about the reality. When you get out of the black community, black women, there is a wealth of eligible men. But you're not going to find it around inferior black men who have nothing to offer. But sisters, before you do that, look in the mirror and say, do I deserve a man at all? Or do I have to get my black womanhood intact and start actually loving myself from the inside before I try and convince a black man that he should find me beautiful and find me worth anything? Keep it real, sisters. Peace and love.